Hi, I'm Jim from survivalattitude.com. One of the reasons we came out here today is to show you and talk with you a little bit about Tops knives. A lot of folks do not realize the quality behind these knives. I've seen a lot of survival videos that show less superior knives out here for the survivalist, or the experienced survivalist, even into the military survivalist, where he would be behind enemy lines, or stuck by himself where he lost his way with his teammates. But as far as survival is concerned, a lot of folks don't give a lot of credence to their knife. That's something we want to help try and fix in the survival community. I'm going to show you a few knives here. I don't want to talk too long about what we do or how we do it, but what I want to mainly focus on is you and what you're going to take out into the woods with you. One thing you need to remember, a lot of folks do not give credit for, is a knife is one of the most important tools you're going to walk into the woods with. Basically, your life depends on the type of knives that you have. I'm not comfortable going into the woods with one knife. I need 2 knives minimum. I recommend most people carry 3 or 4 knives on them, even if they have to pack them in their pack. And we'll get into that sort of thing later. But what I want is something quality because my life depends on it. Most folks don't realize that a knife, a multi-tool, what they carry in their backpack is what their life depends on. A knife is certainly something that your life would depend on. I'm going to show you a few knives here from Tops, explain a little bit about what they are. This knife here is called the CQT Sear. It's about 11 inches long. As you can see at the top, it has a nice saw. It's very sharp. It's a 1/4 inch thick full tang shank. Most knives today are not 1/4 inch thick. This is also a carbon steel with an RC58 alloy hardening. A lot of folks don't realize that either. So it's not going to break on you when you need to pry something, dig a hole with it if you had to, or saw down a tree limb. These knives are very carefully sharpened. I can tell you right now that if I were to take my gloves off and run this across my hand, I would need stitches. I would have to go to the hospital with this knife. A lot of folks would look at this knife and say, you know, that's just a military knife. This is not just a military knife. For one reason, it's not just a military knife. What makes this knife very nice is where you can put your index finger, and then again on the top, there's a place for your little ridges for your thumb, and then you can grip this knife and you can do close-up work with this. Sharpening, filleting a fish, a rabbit, a deer. You can work back onto the handle. Also, more ridges for far away work. Also, survival is also protecting oneself. If you were in a situation, combat, the way you would use this knife would be to turn it around. Now this knife is virtually impossible to take away from me. Nobody could get this knife out of my hand. It's also something I can hide and bring around when I want to unconceal this or show it to the person that is showing aggressive nature towards myself. But don't be fooled by a military knife. As you can see, this knife has a bend to it, which is the reason for that is for the close-up work of filleting or taking care of finding some food or whatnot, setting snares. You can snap wire. If you notice this deeper set here in the serration at the top, that's for snapping a wire fence or whatever to get out of your way. But this sear knife is very nice. It's on the website under Tops. I recommend you take a look at that one for sure. We're gonna quickly throw this away. I don't wanna make these videos 20 minutes long. That's something I do recommend. Another knife I have, and I carry this one with me pretty much everywhere I go. This is called the Hawx Hellion Survivor 2020. Something fairly new for tops. Also, this one's only 3/16 of an inch thick. The reason for that is to keep the weight down, but the hardening process got a little bit better. It's the RC 5860. On the back of the handle is a little, what we call the diamond spike or life-saving spike. If you were to walk up with this knife and smash it against a window, it would certainly take out a windshield or a side window to get someone out of a car. I can't say enough about this knife. This thing is good for skinning, chopping. Again, with this Tanto type, reverse Tanto on the top type blade, which is sharpened all the way back to the saw. This knife is excellent for our soldiers overseas, but don't discount this knife to take into the woods with you. This would probably be in my top 5 choices to go with me. It certainly is my #1 choice, but it would depend on the individual. It's not a very heavy knife, so it's going to be able to move around or to be wheeled around very quickly. Also, just to let you know, this is a very good fighting knife. If you needed to take care of yourself in a sticky situation, this knife is certainly going to open the eyes of someone that wants to bring harm to you, for sure. We'll go over more of this knife later when we have some more time. Actually do some field work with it, show you what it's all about, build some shelters, show you how it fits in. Another knife I wanted to go over with you. This is the Thom Browne Tracker. This is my #1 choice in knife. You just can't beat it. The lower portion does have the knife. It has a gut hook, and then it has like a hatchet type front end on here so that you can chop with it. Also, that is an excellent knife for skinning. It also has the hook in the front for opening up a wire fence or whatever to get through, but also for sawing. This thing will saw a limb down. We'll do some demonstrations on some next videos here, but this is an excellent fighting knife. You've probably seen a version of this knife on the movie called The Hunted. It wasn't exactly like this, but it was very, very close. Again, this knife is 1/4 inch thick, full tang, with the micarta handle. I can't say enough about the knife. My wife has one, I have one. Chris, one of the owners of Survival Attitude, has one of these. You just can't go wrong with this type of knife. I haven't been going over the handles because I know we're running out of time on our video here, but the nice thing about these handles are when you turn these, you're gonna have to get in real close here. If you lift this up, that'll go behind your belt, and then it has a lip here so that when it's on your belt, sort of like the one that's on my belt, I carry a Mil-Spy 3 on my person at all times. It's small, gets me out of a situation very quickly, but it's the same type of unique system so that this doesn't come off of your belt. This is meant to be worn on your back, about here. We also have leather sheaths for this knife. They're nice, but if you're gonna wear the leather sheath, I do recommend, as you can see in the handle, let me pull the thing out. If you can see in the handle, there's a little hole. It's called a lanyard hole. You can put 550 cord in there, and I would strongly urge you to do that and tie it onto your belt. I would go with a piece somewhere around 4 to 5 feet long. What you want is a piece, you want to measure it out so that it goes all the way around an arc of your arm. This is what you're looking for. That way, if the knife comes out and drops, you're going to feel it, and be able to put it back in its proper place. So there's 3 knives for now. We're gonna come back here and do a couple more videos, probably in steps. We'll see how it goes here today. It's a beautiful day. But again, if you want to get on survivalattitude.com, that's our website. Tops is the number 2 button over. You can't miss it. Go on there. We'll catch you all later. Thank you.